On the top left of my screen, sorry, I almost screwed up my left and my right, but on the top left of the screen, you can see that I'm achieving 220 frames. Standing still, but once I start moving, the frame actually go up, which is kind of weird. I don't know why it does that, but I don't know. This game's whack. I'm gonna be showing you guys every single setting here. So as you can see, there are just so many tabs here, and there's like when you're playing on PC, you guys know that optimization is the biggest thing. So basically, what we're gonna be doing is we're just gonna be looking at, we're probably gonna be leaving all of this like personal stuff off to the side, like the sensitivity and just some like the ADS stuff. We're gonna leave all that to the side. We're gonna be focusing on more of the graphics portion because I know that people struggle to get high frames. I want you guys to play at a high frame rate, not 30 frames per second.
Bruh, look at this dude. Wait till you see the. No. Look at the top of his
60 frames per second. I think honestly 30 frames per second or 60 now, to me, now that I'm getting 200 frames, I think it's just like, it's unplayable. So I know when you're on PC, I know that you can achieve higher frame rates. I am playing on a 144 hertz monitor. I could cap it to 144 frames, but to me, like as a personal thing, I like to see how many frames rather can my PC push. And I'm trying to push my PC to the limit when it comes to the frames portion. I don't really want to push it towards the graphic side. I don't really like to have like shadows in a game personally. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the first tab here. So you're obviously gonna want to be playing in full screen mode. That's gonna be that you don't want to play in windowed full screen or full screen borderless or whatever the type of setting is. I think it would be this one for full screen bullet. You don't want to play on that. It's not gonna help you out at all. So you're gonna have your first monitor selected. I have two monitors, so I'm selecting my main monitor. My refresh rate for my monitor is gonna be 144 hertz. You want to have gameplay VSync disabled. Menu VSync disabled also. It's pretty much the same thing. It's just gonna be for the menu. This right here, Cobalt will pretty much lock whatever resolution you have on your monitor. So if you're playing at a 720p monitor, then it's gonna lock you at 1280 by 720. But this is a 1080p monitor that I'm playing on right now, so it's gonna be locking that for us. On Modern Warfare, you can actually slide this up to 4K. Even if you don't have a 4K monitor, I guess they just lock it here just so people don't do that and don't like play with the slider and whatnot and get confused. But you can change the display resolution here. You can downscale it by 1600 by 900 or 1280 by 720, but nowhere can you come close to 4K if you don't have a 4K monitor. All right, so the next one, you can have aspect ratio on automatic, and this is some other like personal preference stuff. I like to have my field of view on 120, and I like to play unaffected. Brightness, I have my brightness set to around 50. This is kind of something you set and you kind of leave. Frame rate is going to be unlimited. That's just a personal thing. That's what I was talking about earlier. And minimize game frame rate, just leave that at 60. You don't want your PC to be running harder than it actually needs to. So we're gonna go over into the details and textures now. Basically what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be doing like medium to low settings. That way you still get a really nice looking game. So listen up here, guys. We're gonna want texture quality on high. You want your model quality on low. I don't think you're gonna notice a huge difference. I would just leave it on low. HD game textures, that's just like if you're playing in 4K, they recommend that you download that texture pack. I don't know if it actually increases your frame rate. That's something I want to figure out if it does, but I'll get back to you guys on that. I really want to see if the extra like 40 gigabyte download is going to help you get higher frame rate. Special effects, you want that on medium. It's actually the lowest setting. Screen space reflection, I have this on disabled. Object view distance I have on high, obviously because you want to be able to see at distance. You don't want it to be very blurry at distance. Next we got shadows. Shadows are a big thing for frames. You want to turn everything on disable and everything on low because it's gonna hurt your frames like a lot. So as you can see here, as we're increasing this, volumetric lighting doesn't really do much, but it's still gonna hurt your frames a little bit. So shadow quality, you have it on low. If you increase it, it's gonna hurt your frames. Your PC is gonna be working a little bit harder. So leave that on low. Dynamic shadows disabled. Special effect shadows disabled. Weapon shadow also disabled. All right, ray tracing. You're gonna want all these on disabled if you're gonna want high frame rate. Ray tracing is just basically just gonna be a very, very ultra setting for shadows. So then again, we want higher FPS. We gotta turn all that down. Nvidia Dlss. Basically, what this does is it improves like your response from your PC to the game, and it makes everything just run a little bit smoother. If you leave it yours on quality, it's pretty much just gonna have like a good like happy medium. Even though that balance is balanced, I think quality, in my opinion, still looks better. Ambient occlusion you want disabled. Motion blur you want disabled. Motion blur quality you want low, the lowest possible. You don't want to play on motion blur. Don't be that kid that plays on motion blur. Subsurface scattering disabled. I think it pretty much just like, it's kind of hard to describe. If we read it here, it just is like stimulates light and that absorbs. I don't see that big of a difference. I don't know if it hurts your frames, but I just keep it on disabled just to be safe on some maps. Order independent transparency you want disabled. VRAM usage you want leave that on default. You don't want your PC working a little bit harder than it needs to. And then basically, if you're on a computer, you should have this selected to computer sRGB. I think this should be pretty default. If you select the drop down menu, this is going to be like for an HD TV, so you don't want to select that. We're not playing on TV, we're playing on a monitor. So you're going to want your display adapter. That's going to be your graphics card. So my graphics card, I have an Nvidia GeForce RTX 2080 Super, and that's pretty much it for the graphics portion. Nothing too crazy. Interface, you can have some of these indicators up here. You can have your FPS shown. Fps Counter, this is where it is. It pretty much just tells you all this information up here. I like to keep that stuff up there because I like to know how my PC is working and how my PC is reacting to the game. You can see your GPU temperature, your packet loss. You can have everything. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead. I'm in a private match actually right now, and I'm going to show you how everything looks. I know you guys can't see it on the YouTube video. The YouTube video is capped to 60 frames, but I'm currently pushing 200 plus frames. And these are the settings. These are the settings that will allow you to get high frame rate here. So if you follow these settings, you're going to have high frame rate. The game still looks pretty beautiful. The color, you can still see some of the shadows. It honestly still looks like we have ray tracing on. Let's go turn on ray tracing and let's go see how it affects our frame rate. We scroll down here to ray tracing. Let's go ultra. Okay, so we're back down to 120 frames. Yeah, the game looks hell of a lot more beautiful. I don't think I see a difference personally. Do you guys see a difference? I don't know. I don't see that big of a difference, but we're gonna have to do some testing on some more maps. This is on the map Checkmate, but it's not that big of a difference. So let's go back and let's see it all over again. Let's put this down to disabled. Hit click apply, back, and there's really not too much of a difference. So personally, I like to go for higher frame rate. I don't like to make my game look that beautiful. I think it's confusing in my opinion. So if you guys follow these settings, you're gonna have higher frame rate in your games. If you guys do have any other questions, leave them down below in the comment section, and I will try my best to answer all the questions for you PC goers. This video primarily is for PC players, so I just wanted to help you guys out, make sure you guys got the best settings. I think I've spent like a good hour or two trying to figure out what PC settings affect the frame rate and everything. So leave a like down below if you guys enjoyed the video, and I will try to get back to your questions. And if you want to join the family, please hit that subscribe button. It means the world if you guys could hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you guys in the next video.